I'm your host, Sean McKenzie. Thank you for joining once again on my channel on data engineering. In this episode, we go back to our Python playlist, and we're going to take a look at how to get the password when we're running our script, our Python script, how to get the password without, exposing it to the outside world or showing it inside of, our script itself and saving it or anything like that. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the getpass library, very simple command that is built into Python, and we're going to use that to get our password. Let's get to it. Looking for more resources for your project? Make sure to check out the additional links in the description. Okay guys, so pretty neat one today. We're going to take a look at how to get our password into our Python script without saving our password in the script. Or exposing it and typing it in and then saving it and running it and then, getting rid of it after. We're actually going to use the getpass library today, and that's going to prompt us to type in our password without exposing the password. It's going to let our script run, and then when the script is done and it's finished, it's going to forget the password, and more is the better for everyone. So what we're going to do today is we're going to set up a connection. I'm going to use a Snowflake connection today. So I'm going to connect to my Snowflake instance. I've been doing quite a few Snowflake videos lately, and so this is a good one for that case, but this applies to any kind of password or connection that you might want to use. And what we're going to do is we're going to do from getpass import getpass. That's going to be that function there. And then we can just say, password equals getpass. And so we're going to put that inside of a try except finally structure there. And that's going to help us to capture any errors that come out. And we can print those out to the console if we get any. And we might get some today. We'll see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my connection object for Snowflake here, and the Snow user is a variable I've already loaded. The password is the one we're going to get from the getpass function there. The account is my Snowflake account loaded into a variable already, and then we'll set up our warehouse and our database and schema as well. And so this is sort of part of usually setting up any kind of connection, whether it's a database string or something like that, and you might have a script on your network that you want to run, but you just want to punch in your password at runtime and then forget about it, and that's kind of what we're doing here today. So a Snowflake connection uses all of those parameters that you see there. I've loaded those into variables above our import statement there, except for the password, which I want to get using the getpass function, like I said. And once our connection is set up, I'm going to set up our cursor in Snowflake, and then we'll select some data. And so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to select everything from my project table. I've got a small project table in there with some names and things like that, so that we can see a select statement running against Snowflake using the password that we got from our input prompt. Then I'll load up our records variable there with the cs.execute, and that's going to return the result set from that table, and then we'll just loop through and just output each row into our console just for demonstration purposes. And then we'll put our exception block in here, and we'll do accept exception as E, and then we'll just print that off if we get that. And then we'll use a finally block to make sure that the connection gets closed to Snowflake no matter what happens in our script. In the try block, we're going to make sure that the connection gets closed. And so I'll say if the connection is there, then I'm going to close it. And that should be enough for us. We'll put a little note on there just saying that we closed our connection, and then we'll put a done at the very end. So we'll get an exception, print it out, and then it'll say done, or we'll get a disconnecting and closed if it was open. And so that password there is going to get used for this script using that getpass function, and we can run that, and there's our password getting loaded into the connection for Snowflake. And so if we go ahead and run this, I'll just hit F5 on my keyboard here, and oh look, I broke it already. There we go. I screwed up. Well, I never put a closing quote on there. Okay, let's put a closing quote on our project schema, and then we'll hit F5 again, and we should get the expected outcome in our console that we were looking for, right? Well, let's just take a look and see what we get here. And so there it goes, and oh, we're getting a warning though. It says, hey, you know what? If we run this in idle, our password might actually show, and so that's not what we're looking for. So if I type in my password here and I hit enter, it's going to say, hey, well, in this case it's the wrong password, but I also exposed everything I was writing out to out into my monitor or whatever, and so that could be seen by other people, and I don't want that, and I don't want to save it. So in comes our command prompt here for Windows, and you can do the same thing, I believe, in Bash for Linux. So if you want to, you can type in the change your directory to where you've got your script, or you can just type in the whole path with your script. But I'm going to go there first, and then I'll hit go, and now you can see that it's asking me for the password, and I can type it in the way that I want to type it in. It's kind of a screwed up password. Here we go. I'll punch that in, and there we go. So now you can see, oh, I've got a different error, but this is not related to my login. That's actually because I'm trying to use my account admin role, but the username that I created in Python doesn't have that. So I'm going to go and switch that around in my script there. Okay, I went ahead and updated that. Whoops, I hit F5 to go into idle. That's the wrong thing we don't want there. So I did that again. Here I'll just punch in this password. As you can see, like I said before, the password is visible, and we do not want that. I'll pull up my Windows console here, and I'll go back to the previous command, and you can see now it's giving me the connecting message, and it's asking for that password. Now I can punch in that password again, and this time you can see again it's not showing the password when I type it in. There is the data from my table in Snowflake, and so now you can get an idea that when you use the getpass library, you're not going to be using idle. You need to make sure that whatever scripting, whatever console that you use is going to support this, because it's not the case that every environment is going to support the getpass password library. I can type it in again, and there we go. That's exactly what we want, and that's how you can hide your password while you're entering it for a script in Python. Interested in more content like this? Make sure to check out the additional links in the description.